Lance, thanks. You see the cars back on this world's fastest quarter mile here in Slinger, Wisconsin. And a look at our starting lineup coming across the top of your screen. Starting on the outside of row number 1, going to be the 17-year-old local all-star, Luke Fenhaus. Let's try and talk to him.
Let's see if we can get him. Hey, Luke, it's James Hinchcliffe up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Ray Evernham is talking to them all on the radio right now, so that probably overrode our attempt to get to him. Try it again.
That would make sense. Let's give it one more shot. Hey, Luke, it's James Hinchcliffe up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
All right, man, you're starting outside of the front row. It's been a strong night so far, but you think you can take this win?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. Stewart's been good all night. Mitchell's good, so it's going to be interesting for sure. It's going to be who keeps those rear tires on it at the end, so we'll give her a shot for sure.
All right, let's see if you can make it 2 in a week, bud. Best of luck.
Fenhaus has done most of the damage tonight as far as passing cars. And Haley Deegan did a lot of leading as well as Marco Andretti. 17 laps led tonight for Deegan. We are racing at Slinger Speedway. Marco Andretti with Luke Fenhaus to his outside at the green. Back in the field, Paul Tracy and Willie T. Ribbs have tangled already twice in the opening lap of this second heat, this main event. But up front, it's Marco Andretti claiming the top spot on the jump.
Yeah, he had the hardest challenge he's had yet on one of those starts from Fenhaus. He's now trying to look up the inside, and he's definitely there. Looking at a replay of Paul and Willie just getting into each other. Got Willie loose, turned him down into Paul. A little bit of bumper cars happening back there. Smoke just sitting back there waiting to see which line rolls through, and he's going to try to go with them.
Luke Fenhaus could not be any more of a polite young man. His family has a farm. He spends part of his day working on the farm, spends part of his day as a rising senior in high school, and part of his day working on his race car, his Super Late model, to come race here at Slinger and other places.
Tony right on the bottom, getting really close to that back bumper of Marco Andretti. He's going to have a little bit of a run on him now into 3. Marco's going to give him that room, use that high line, but they are not letting Luke Fenhaus get away either. These guys are all still running really quick lap times.
Andretti outside of the black car, Stewart in the orange car, down low. And now while these three have been going at it up front, Bobby Labonte has broken free of Ernie Francis Jr., and now Labonte in the teal car joins the party up front.
Yeah, it really seems like Francis is struggling a little bit. He's got a train behind him now. Bit of a gap, about 15 car lengths up. If you watch Bobby Labonte try to get underneath Marco, these guys had a little bit of fender bumping in Heat 2 there, and I don't think Bobby was particularly thrilled with Marco. So we'll see how he plays this one here.
He's been terrific so far in this race. This whole fight up front has been terrific. Fenhaus now clearing Stewart. Labonte inside of Andretti for 3rd place, and the yellow flag comes out as we complete 44 laps. It's Fenhaus inside, Stewart outside. We're back under green at Slinger. Stewart by a nose on that lap, but Fenhaus still to his inside. Andretti has cleared Labonte through 3rd. Bobby in 4th, and Francis Jr. and Biffle side by side for 5th.
And Marco just lurking there. You know, he's been working the high line, he's learning the low line. He's really just trying to find out which way he wants to go when he gets up to these two.
And it comes back a little bit to what I was sort of hinting at before, which is, hey, you've still got a lot of laps to go in this thing. You got to have something underneath you tire-wise when it comes down to lap 140 to 150.
Absolutely, and normally when you stay glued to the bottom like that, you're going to use up a little more of your tires than if you're running around the top. And between his battles with Marco Andretti and Tony Stewart, Fenhaus has spent a fair amount of time sort of glued to that yellow line. Again, he knows this place pretty well. I think he knows how to take care of his cars and his tires, but he's definitely had to work them a little bit harder by being stuck on that bottom.
Tying back into Matt Yoakum's story from Max Pappas and the MPI steering wheels that they use on how important it is to help the driver. Wow, look at this. Heavy bumper cars going on back in the pack while Stewart and Fenhaus continue to race for the lead. Deegan, Biffle, now Francis Jr., Paul Tracy sideways behind them. This is Elio and Ernie Francis Jr. a lap or two ago.
Just a little rubbing. It's a little short track action right there. Nothing too untoward. Right on the bumper of Biff. As the big applause from the crowd here as their local hero gets that job done.
Hats are waving, people on their feet. What a scene tonight here in Slinger, Wisconsin. Population 5,500 and about 10,000 in our sold-out quarter-mile Speedway tonight.
Yeah, the population of Slinger Speedway is about double that of Slinger the town.
Yeah. All right, Marco.
Fenhaus
with a big slide. He saves it, but Marco Andretti tries to pounce.
Really heads up there for Marco to not just clean him out and get into the back bumper there. He had to check up. That was the right thing to do. Preserve his car, preserve Luke's car. But that was a big sign. This is what I was talking about. I think maybe he had to use up more of his tires fighting those guys on that bottom line.
Oh, Marco tries to go 3 wide and split the middle. And the yellow flag comes out here at Slinger.
That was... I had to hold my breath on that one. That was close.
As we go green, once again at Slinger. Oh, Andretti up into the side of Labonte, trying to get up off of turn number 2 as they race for 3rd place.
Ernie Francis with a big lunge on the outside of turn 3. Back there in 7th place, but still side by side up front. All these drivers, you can see Marco spinning his tires a little bit coming off turn 2. A lot of action in the back.
Bobby Labonte got launched off of turn number 2, charged right down into turn 3, and had to use the bumper of Fenhaus's car to stop him, it looked like.
This could very well come down to a battle of who's taking care of their tires a little bit better as the caution flag waves. Michael Waltrip.
Got a car in trouble off turn number 2, Michael Waltrip. Remember, his car damaged earlier in a heat race accident, repaired by the SRX crew back out in the main event, but he just had a little bit of trouble off turn number 2 and brought out the yellow flag.
They fixed the car, but unfortunately his feet still size 14.
Yes, they are. All right, Waltrip had a flat tire. It's been replaced. He's back on the track, and we're going green. Oh, Tracy with a chance to get a shot at Francis Jr., and he took it.
He sure did. Looks like Haley Deegan was kind of the innocent bystander in that one. Luckily, everybody's still going. PT ahead now of Francis Jr.
Yes, but he's got the yellow car of Francis Jr. behind him. I expect there to be another yellow flag shortly.
Ernie with wheels lit up coming off at turn 4, trying to stay. Oh no, trying to stay with him there.
All right, here's the shot. He got a shot underneath him and all the way into turn 3.
You know what, man? That's not the first time we've seen amazing car control from Ernie Francis Jr. when he's been tapped going into a corner. So a little bit of a handling imbalance. That always makes it harder. So here's a replay. Oh, Haley getting big into the back of Ernie Francis Jr. there. That was when right when we cut to break there, when he had that moment, he checked up and Haley just got in the back of him.
So Deegan running in 9th, Francis Jr. running in 10th, Tracy is up to 7th. Tony Stewart and Luke Fenhaus. This time Stewart using the high line, getting the better of Fenhaus.
Oh, he got into the wall a little bit there. Tony just brushed the wall, white walled it, yellow walled it in this case, coming off turn 2. Didn't look like it was hard enough to do any damage, but it just shows you how hard these guys are pushing and how much they're working these tires. That grip's going to really just start to go away over these last 20 laps. You can see this just a little high, just barely kisses it, gets into it. He would have felt that though. He knows what's happening there.
Wow. Tony Kanaan.
PT's world. Oh, there it is. Right on cue. Right on cue. PT shuts the door on Haley Deegan, gets her sideways. She manages to keep it again. That banking just saving these cars when they get it into that slide there.
TK racing in his native Brazil this weekend, but his teammate in this car, championship-wise, is Haley Deegan, so watching with a very vested interest.
Certainly. Yeah, Paul kind of turned in from the second lane there and then decided to come down a bit low. Just a wide arc going in. the gap was there and then it wasn't. So heads up driving.
Andretti up front, almost looked to thread the needle again between Fenhaus and Stewart. Tony closed the door.
Big sewing guy, Marco Andretti. Threading the needle.
Yeah. Yellow flag is out as we hit 15 to go. We knew, the drivers all knew, that they would get one of these caution flags to set up. Gonna line up side by side on row number 1. There are 12 green flag laps between now and the checkered flag. Andretti and Labonte in row number 2. Green is out at Slinger.
And big spin. Castroneves, Biffle, they're both into it. The yellow flag is almost certainly going to come out here.
It is.
And there it is. I was just going to say it was a great launch from Fenhaus, who decided to take the outside lane.
And 6th, and Biffle bounced off the side of Castroneves.
It's amazing. It looked like such a small hit, but it just immediately pitched Elio into a spin, and then Biffle had nowhere to go. They kind of synchronized, spun together down to the bottom.
Oh, Biffle got a nudge too from Deegan.
Yeah, he got sort of tagged a little bit by Haley Deegan, which put him into the door of Elio Castroneves. So that was kind of a racing deal. There wasn't a lot going on there.
All right, pace cars off. Here we go. Still got 12 laps to go. We didn't complete a green flag lap last time.
Much later acceleration from Luke Fenhaus this time from the inside. Tony Stewart hanging it out there, too wide. Little contact between Michael Waltrip and Paul Tracy down the back straight.
That was Waltrip and Ernie Francis Jr., I believe, mixing it up back there.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, PT.
Yeah, but PT underneath Bobby Labonte, trying to race for 4th spot. Squeezes. Labonte had to check up. Marco Andretti injecting himself into the fight for the win, while Paul Tracy is up to 4th place.
See Deegan now working on Bobby Labonte, trying to get just to him, just inside there. She pulled almost that exact same move to steal 2nd place from Greg Biffle right on the last or second last lap of the race at Knoxville. Very nicely done there. Great short track racecraft. Haley Deegan has shown that.
Deegan with a bump on Paul Tracy back in line. That's for 4th place, but at the white flag. And there's a spin. We're not done yet. And they're going to stack a few of them up in turn 4.
2 to go. Paul Tracy again dropped like he was last week in Indianapolis. Michael Waltrip involved. Willie G. Ribbs involved. Elio Castroneves involved. Oh man, that's devastating. You hate to see that so close to the end.
Haley Deegan has been instructed to drop to the rear of the field for her part in this.
So you can see she had a pretty good run, but then Paul had a very big, you see his hands come off the wheel as soon as he was hit, kind of just threw his hands up in frustration. Can't believe this is happening again. He went very deep into 3. Haley got a little bit understeer there, kind of pushed up into Paul.
And by the way, just to clarify, the reason Deegan is being sent to the rear of the field is because being involved in the accident.
Right.
All right, here we go. Half a lap from the restart. Luke Fenhaus inside, Marco Andretti outside, Stewart in orange, Deegan in pink, green, white checker coming up at Slinger Speedway. Who gets the jump?
Marco is being a little cheeky there, trying to get a little bit of an edge, staying half a car length ahead of Fenhaus, and he's going to clear him on the outside. Off of 2, Tony Stewart, Haley Deegan side by side. Marco getting the white flag now, 1 to go.
1 lap, and it is Andretti with a car length on Fenhaus to turns 3 and 4. Can Fenhaus get there with the bumper? Andretti wide. Fenhaus looks to get by, but he can't do it. Marco Andretti wins at Slinger.
What a phenomenal finish. He said none of these guys had anything to lose. Tony was looking for his 3rd win in SRX. Luke was looking for his 2nd win of the week, but Marco Andretti taking his 1st win here in the SRX series.
Our wheels up winner, Marco Andretti. What a race, what a finish, what a great job he did on that last restart, and to get that thing to the checkered flag.
I gotta say, he's really lucky that Tony Stewart came 3rd, because he probably would have left him. Marco's got to do all the victory celebrations. If he didn't have to go to the podium too, he might have left him behind.
Wow.